But in this video, I'm going to be doing a more like a how to get better at tank. So what are some mechanics, some game sense, and some like focus points to, fully rely on. The point of where I'll be talking from is around Diamond 1 as my peak. So it's not like 100%, just so you know. If anyone else out there has better tips, please dog on me in the comments. That is funny. But for anybody else that is, around diamond or below, I promise you, wherever you're trying to work with, this will at least help you a bit to get to the next rank. People who are mechanically based give you more control over the character, so I think it's better almost in a sense that if you want control over a character and you want to, basically you get to do what you want, offer you a lot of things that a lot of other tanks can't do at the expense that the game doesn't play for you. And what I mean by that is heroes that rely not so much mechanically wise and not really game wise either, but kind of just they do things for you that a lot of other players have to focus on. When it comes to tanks, Doomfist is number one for that. I feel like he is so mechanically intensive to the point where you can be a really good Doomfist, but you have to like actually put in a lot of effort. I'm gonna say it right now. I feel like a lot of Doomfist players are actually really good players. I do play often, so I can give very discrepant tips about here, and I'm probably gonna be using her a lot for all the other tanks as well, which is what you probably came here for. So with Zarya, she plays naturally behind what I'm gonna go over here first, which is positioning for when it comes to mechanics. That can be kind of into game sense too, so I put it in both. But on my list here, I got positioning on mechanics as well. So what I mean by that is for a tank like Zarya, you want to be super good at positioning. I mean, like, actually good. You know how many Zaryas I've seen in bronze through gold especially, but even in, like, low plat, I'd say, they'll be, like, all the way out here, trying to fight whoever they're going for. Like, there's just no reason for it. You think this is like a common thing to understand, but actually a lot of people to this day I feel like mess that up. So like I said, with Zarya, it comes mainly at the expense of you got to know how to be attracted to corners, and literally, quite literally, you want to be constantly playing behind a corner. Act like you're playing Valorant basically with Zarya. You want to be like peeking corners almost all the time and use that as your only advantage. It's almost like your babysitter. Especially here, we got a Winston that is Zarya, I would say, Zarya's hardest counter, besides maybe someone like Reinhardt. Say the Winston is over here, and you want to learn how to play against him. Now, naturally, a Winston would normally probably dive your backline, but he's just an example. So if we had just any tank here or whatever we wanted to, right here, why would you play over here where all of his supports and DPS can see you, right? Like, they're all behind him trying to heal him, and he's right up here. Why would you play here? I feel like most would, and sometimes people don't even use their bubbles. Another thing I've noticed with Zarya's is that they don't even use their bubbles. Like, sometimes they'll be up here trying to fight them. They'll go down to like 300 HP, use a bubble, and act like that's gonna do something. No, 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 no. How you engage with any tank, but especially ones like Zarya or someone who is position based, you don't want to do that. Don't give yourself away if you don't need to. Play behind corners. When you want to bubble, go out, get energy, right? And then you go back, wait for your charge to go up again, or your bubble, or your cooldown. Go out again, get more charge, right? Like, it's really simple. And then once you wait for the cooldown again, you should have a lot of charge, depending on, how you thought about the scenario. Which most of the time, especially in low elo, they will charge you up just for free, so it shouldn't be too hard. And then that's when you're able to make an aggressive play. A lot of the time, a lot of Zaryas that I see, or just, like I said, anything in general, they'll go for the tank, like face tank straight up. There are slight exceptions when you actually want the face tank. For the most part, no matter what tank you're playing, go for their backline. Like, if I see, for example, this Winston's, he's like right where he is right here, but let's see it's a soldier, and his soldier's coming up like right here trying to shoot me. Like, why would I go for the Winston, who there's no way I'm gonna kill, other than the soldier, who I could kill, and I have 90 or like max charge, right? Like, I could easily destroy him real quick. It's okay to learn when to back off, but you're getting value out of just denying that space from them. That is what tanking is all about. You gain advantages in the team fight by denying what the enemy wants to do. You are the controller of your team, basically. Your team does what you do. So if you want to take the space over here, odds are your teammates are not going to be over there trying to take that space, right? They're going to be with you because they know that you're the one who dominates space. Both teams have, both teams with that one tank on it, they both depend on what their tank does. For example, if the Winston's here and I'm here, both teams are going to be right here and right over there. They're going to take after what, it's almost like you're the team leader. So you control the space and you get to decide what you want to do with that space. So if you make a mistake, basically what I'm saying is if you die first on tank, you did something fundamentally wrong. Like you did. It's the truth. Now I understand there are some quite, you know, simple exceptions. Like for example, maybe you have a support who's not healing you enough or things like that. Also, again, don't blame your teammates. Like don't do that. That is not going to help you. But let's say you did. It's unfortunate it happens. Then I guess that makes sense. But if you feel like your teammates are, pretty decent or average at least, just know that you did something wrong if you were the first one dying. As a tank, you should not be dying first. Like that is a problem. We also got how to fight, or I guess how to engage on the more of the mechanic side. Um, how we would fight certain scenarios. Like I said, knowing when to engage and disengage is really important with tank. With a lot of other heroes, you kind of just determine it on your own time. But with tank, when you engage, like I said before, your teammates will do the exact same thing, right? Like if I'm over here and I'm trying to fight a Winston with 0 charge, has his bubbles, able to jump and get my backline, I am just wasting time, right? Like, he's in my backline, I can't do anything. I am completely wasting time and I am not being a tank. Now, if I had charge, I'm getting up here, like, I'm thinking ahead of time, I'm thinking ahead of time, I'm getting in there. I can use that later on to make a decision. So for this certain scenario, if there was a Winston right there and I am on, specifically here in this little corner here, I would wait for my charge to build up, wait for the Winston to make a play. As soon as he gets in my back line, instead of just sitting here being a sitting duck, I'm going to go for the same thing. I'm going to go for a backline pick, put the odds in our favor. That's kind of how you take more control over the fight. You don't want to like let them run all over you, basically is what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of tanks do that. They'll just let the enemy tank or just people on the enemy team let them run over when you are giving up that yourself. You are the tank. You determine what happens in a team fight. You don't just let others do that for you. That's your job. So if you're dying first or you're letting others run you over, you're doing something wrong. When it comes to game sense, we're going to come across to awareness, and if I'm going to be honest, this one I'm going to talk about quite a bit because I feel like awareness is super undervalued by all ranks. I've seen even like GMs and slash champion slash top 500, whatever you want to say. I've seen a lot of them even not really even include, ranks. I feel like it's because awareness comes with time, comes with thought, but it also can come with practice. So when it comes to awareness, I'm thinking more like ult tracking and a mixture of positioning, so that's why I put it here as well. It comes with knowing what to do in a certain scenario that, you can change. So for example, I feel like right now I can swap to my other main, D.Va here. How to think about what to do in these areas is, if I have this, tank here again, but I also noticed something else. What if there is a soldier or a Sojourn or just, Hanzo or somebody coming over on that side? Why would I want to face tank this here when he has all the healing that he needs, all this shit over here, like, right? Like, I don't want to fight him. Like, there's no point to. If it's a Winston, maybe, I guess, because D.Va does counter Winston pretty hard, but if it's, like, any other tank, there's just no point to it. Especially if he uses his cooldowns. Like, if he has no cooldowns and he's back here, this is your perfect time to shine. Let's say your teammates are having trouble over here. You could just... Right? And if you take them out, let's say you took out that one flanker or whatever it was, then you have a massive advantage having a 5v4 over here with this team. The reason I bring that into the equation here is mainly because I feel like people undervalue the idea of what's going on around them. So almost like tunnel vision. If I was tunneling the tank here and I didn't think about anything else but the tank, I am not getting any value. He's gonna make the decision before I make the decision. He is going to control the game because he is also a tank who has that ability, right? Like, you are a tank, sure, but he is also a tank. So if you are going to just sit there and tunnel vision somebody, he will just run the show in front of you, and you're gonna wonder, what the heck? Like, how did I die? How did I lose? So I want you to basically think of like a giant dome, almost a giant dome of what you're doing in your certain area. And instead of just tunneling the tank right here, instead of looking at him, I want you to look at everything going on around you. Look to your left, look over here, like side eye basically everything. Like, you want to make sure you know exactly what's going on. When it also comes to awareness, know when a team fight has ended. If you have your ultimate and you, especially like me as D.Va right now, this is perfect. If you have your ultimate and it's a 3v5, but you don't recognize it and you throw your ult, you are making a huge mistake. Like it's an unwinnable fight. You need to know when fights are unwinnable or winnable. So, or if you need to use something like, think of that Kiriko who did her Kitsune whenever it was already like a 5v2, right? You probably thought, oh, that was pretty dumb. You need to honestly always be thinking of that, right? Like you don't want to just in the moment be like, oh, I did a wrong play. Like no, you need to think about that beforehand. So if I saw, for example, if I ulted here and they were a Doomfist, maybe an Orisa as well or something like that, why would I ult right here, even if I was trying to get a squish or something like that, why would I ult right here whenever I know he's about to punch me? Those are all simple things that all add up to your game sense. They tell how much you know and what to do in certain scenarios. Ult tracking is something that I think is thrown around very commonly for low rank players, and I actually disagree with it. I mean, obviously it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but let's be honest. Even me sometimes I forget ult tracking even exists. Like I'm gonna be completely real. I don't think about ult tracking very often. If so, it's like one time every game or two times. That's obviously a problem that I have. It's a mistake that I have. I need to work on that. But like for low rank players, I promise you can get by without learning that. I feel like don't stress about things like that are very minuscule that won't really help you too much. I think things that are the most important is positioning and awareness. Of everything I've said today, if there's one thing that you can learn, I want it to be positioning and awareness because those two things are so incredibly important. If you can blend those together, I promise you, you could climb to at least mid plat, like easily, or even high plat easily, if you just blend those together on tank. So if I'm in a good position, right over here with D.Va over here, or just anybody, if I'm in a good position, and I also have the awareness that there's another teammate over here, and I killed them because of my awareness, right? I set myself up for success in a 5v4, and now I can use the other part of this, my mechanical part, which is a little bit of positioning as well, to set myself up for more success. I just set myself in a good area to fight the tank. I know it's a 5v4 because I even odds with my game sense, you know? See how this is all adding together? It all adds together in the end. This is why tanking is very hard to do, I feel like, for a lot of people. It's easy to understand, but it's hard to master. Try to, I guess, small tips for everybody who's just naturally watching the video. Know what you're doing, when to do it, be the leader of your team, positioning and awareness. Those are all just small things that I would give at the end of this video, just for you guys, like a recap, I guess. You guys need to work on that sometime soon. I know this video wasn't too like showy, I guess, if that's the best way to put it. You guys didn't really spectate me playing a game. I'll probably try to upload a game of it soon, maybe me on D.Va or Zarya, for example, and I will show you more what I mean inside of a game. Right now, it's kind of, I guess, just a bad time for me to record a video like that, but in the next video, I will, and it'll be way more informative. If you did like these types of videos, I will be uploading more, and possibly in the future, more ones that are based for your character. So, for example, if you're in a Ramatra main or something, I don't know, just something like that, just let me know and I'll try my best to get together what I know and what other Ramatra mains know, and I will make a video for that for you. So if there's anything else you'd like to know, it could be tanks, DPS, or support, I don't really care. I'm just a tank main, so that's why it's my first video. So like I said, if you guys enjoy this, please leave a like, greatly appreciated, and see you guys later.